Okay, so you're not going to see much in terms of setup here now, but the fact we're sort of down the line, we can see sort of your front knee there, would just indicate the fact you're more in full game setup. And you can see on this right left-hand one now, as the club goes back, that club going back a bit on the inside. Again, from a long game perspective, you're within the window of where we could have it. If you were continuing on there, I mean, this position here now, that club is quite flat. Had you kept turning and moving, that club would get up here in a good spot. You could bring it back down, then back on plane, because you've got time. When you're in a short chip shot or a pitch shot, you've only got a short distance between backswing and impact. It's very tough then to get that club back underneath in the right angle. It's going to generally come more from sort of the inside here. See the club now quite on the inside, and if the club strikes the ball with any amount of square or slightly open club face, he's going over there. So now your hands have to kind of roll over and twist the club face to get it kind of so the club face there, now the face kind of pointing off to the left there, okay? This one here now, that sort of weakest sort of setup where your left shoulder is lower, and if needs be, just sort of start with, put the club in your right hand, then just sort of slide the left hand down the leg and then bring the club in, so just feel softer underneath with this left side. You can see as the club goes back, how it's more in line with the hands, and look at the difference in the angle there now. We're now getting the club on a more set angle. Compare that to where it was there, yeah? So that club's working back a lot steeper. So when you come back to the golf ball now, you can sort of drag it back down that same swing plane as that club comes into the golf ball. It's a bit more in line with the target. And when you swing through now, we can get the face of the club pointing a bit more back to you when you're swinging the club. So it comes out a lot higher and softer. And that's a specific shot when you want high and soft and floating. I think at the start there, you knew what short and long differences were.
But I didn't know that.
But didn't really know the difference in terms of how to hit different trajectories and spins and flights and this stuff. And this is the thing with short game. So long game, it's 7-iron or 8-iron. But into the wind, I go 7-iron. Par 40, 3 wood. Yeah, no, it's a bit tight. I'll go 2-iron or 3-iron or whatever. There's usually one or two choices. They're not really multiple choices. With short game, obviously, you've got high and low, you've got spin, no spin, you've got release, you've got check, you've got all these different type of shots. Then you've got to take into consideration the ground that you're on. It's a downhill lie. You've probably got to try and increase the loft as best you can, but still accept the fact it's going to come out lower. Likewise, on an uphill lie, you might want to play the ball a bit lower, but you're on an uphill lie, it's going to launch it very, very high, so you've got to take a different club in accord. Now, the setup is going to change based on the shot. The swing, therefore, will look different. But most of the time, you're sort of just turning your torso. If I start off in a position like this, where I'm here and turn my torso, it's just generally going to turn on a steeper angle, yeah? If I set up more like this and turn, it's going to bring a more shallow angle, yeah? So that's generally going to create a steeper angle going back. That club now is going to come back more on the angle you want. The one thing you've got to remember, as we said a couple of times, if you just think, I want steep, and you just take your arms then here and just do this, now the angle back in the golf ball is going to be too steep and you haven't got space to get out your own way. So the torso is still moving. That's always rotating, irrespective of the shot you're going to play. It's just getting that club. And I think from a hinge perspective, a feeling a lot of people have when they go back to keep that club up in front, that top wrist there on your left hand, if you get yourself in your start position, almost like when you swing the golf club back now, if you swing the club back nice and slowly, pushing down there sets that club up a little bit steeper. If you don't push down there, you go good. It just gets that club hinging up without you trying to lift the arms up, okay? So the club itself is working what we call up the shaft line. So if I sort of draw this line here, you'll see the club now, Hugh, working up the shaft line there nicely. Yes, the club's working a lot steeper. Just gets it back in the golf. And again, as open as that club looks to you, how much slice spin are you actually going to have on that one there? It's not, I mean, you could literally have the face wide open. That was your best one. I'm going to go in. There you go. That was your best one by a country mile in terms of flight, trajectory, path, club face. I'm pretty sure. Oh, there we go. 12 spin. But that's 12 spin compared to 1200 spin you had before. So that's going to come off and land a lot softer. And then when you hit the green, it's not going to be fizzing across the green now. Okay, so slightly smaller, a short shot setup, getting that left shoulder down and a bit steeper at address so you can set the club on the way back a bit more in front of you. And then as well, when that club's working back in front of you, hold it. It's a lot easier now if you hit the ground behind the ball, the club is bouncing towards target as opposed to before. When you hit the ground, the club coming too far from the inside just made it very, very difficult. So definitely a setup change and a swing feeling, okay?